Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. Feels weird saying that because we are in Cologne right now, but of course we are broadcasting via the direct feed and the wonders of the internet, obviously from Taipei. Yoey Flash Wolves are 1-0 up. If you missed the first game, it was a fairly one-sided affair. It took a little while in the lane phase, but really the Yoey Flash Wolves, once they came out of it, once they got into them team fights, they didn't look back. You know, they dominated. So going into pick and bans, obviously Ocelot is joining us for this one. Are we expecting adjustments? I'm thinking what the bans were to begin with. They kind of went with a lot of the standards, the Kassadin in there, the ban, but, you know, Na was left open. We were expecting it maybe to be first pick, but they went with the Z first pick. Obviously, Bangkok Titans going to be on the blue side this time around. How do we see this one go?
As first pick, you can be more flexible because you have the first pick, so you don't need to ban what's actually OP, you can say, even though I don't like that word. So they were able, as first pick, to ban Javan and Lissandra, if I'm not wrong.
And Kassadin, yeah.
Yeah, correct. One of them may not be banned this time. I think it's going to be one of either Javan or Lissandra. So I think there's a high chance that either they pick it themselves as a second pick, or we're going to see maybe a first pick in one of both. Because I think Javan is actually worth first pick nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's something we've saw, obviously, through a lot of the matches that have happened over the last week. We've had so much League of Legends over the last week.
Yes. There's overload of League right now. Overload.
It's like nothing and then just blah, everything at once. Yeah,
you have these 3 monsters, nothing, and then everything comes together. You don't even know what you're watching anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of beauty and also the beast side of it as well. In fact, we've got so much to watch. You can literally, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think you can almost 24-hour watch leagues all the way through.
Yeah, and of course, well, I mean, LCK is going to kick off just as we finished today. LCK will kick off, so it's like just non-stop action all the way through. So
which we'll obviously be staying up for to watch.
Naturally, of course. Yeah. We need to see Monty and Doa in action, see what's going on over in Korea. Pick and bans are going to be getting underway in just a moment. We'll see, of course, how this one works out.
I'm looking forward to it.
How do you favour the pick and bans currently in 5.1? Do you prefer the red or the blue?
I think, overall, blue tends to be more effective because you have more flexibility when it comes into bans. You sort of have one free ban normally when you're first pick, so you can maybe target ban somebody. It's just more flexible,
Yeah, because it used to be, obviously, it's changed throughout the years.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a lot of times, like when you give the options, a lot of teams would favour the red side because they wanted to counterpick.
But generally, you can see blue side being more effective. Generally.
Well, we'll see how it works out.
It has to be this time around for Bangkok Titans. I mean, that last game didn't go well for them. There were some promising signs out of it, but for me, it looked like Flash Wolves were just a better team overall.
Correct. Yeah, you can say that the setup early game was actually better, of course, but they snowballed it crazy. We see the Javan and Lissandra ban, but we don't see the Kassadin, which was the first ban in the previous game. So we may not see a Kassadin ban. It makes sense because you have the last pick, so you can sort of counter pick that with a full physical damage mid laner, or maybe with something like Orianna that can non-stop harass the Kassadin. So let's see what we see.
Yeah, Kassadin's actually been picked a lot in the top lane these days as well.
Both mid and top lane. It's a very flexible pick, and it can work. Oh, actually, the ban said this is really, really smart because this means that they have to ban Kassadin. Because otherwise, if they first pick Kassadin, they will not have many things to answer with. Maybe Orianna, but I'm not entirely sure. I think Maple doesn't play Orianna, actually. I'm not entirely sure, but I didn't see him.
Yeah, more assassins if you look at his games. A lot of Fizz, a lot of LeBlanc in there. Obviously, played Zed in that last game as well. Warlock, on the other hand, his games have mostly gone towards Lissandra and Kassadin, which is still open. And actually, they go for an Ahri ban, which does that mean that Maple's got something in mind?
Oh yeah, of course, it's open. Of course, it's open. Of course, I totally missed that one. That's my bad. With Rek'Sai open, if the jungler plays him well, not every jungler plays him, but the jungler that plays him mostly prioritizes him over any other. So it's a really good first pick. But then we have this Gnar Sivir combo, which is deadly. It's a really good engage. Sivir provides, her ultimate is just so crucial for some moments to just get the edge and get the engage you want to have. And when Gnar is about to get the passive, it's just super, super good.
Well, NL went incredibly well on Corki in the previous matchup. He got his hands on that one. It seems that they do favour Siva over Corki still, though, because that's going to be the first AD picked up. And again, we're going to see Stake once again on worked out well for him. But Rek'Sai, what is it that makes him like the top champion right now? Like, he is now the #1 pick, I feel, in this game.
Isn't Rek'Sai a girl?
Is it? It's a... I mean, what is it really?
That's a nasty-ass girl,
it's like
man.
this thing.
I ain't gonna date that. I ain't gonna date that.
Just saying, girl. Yeah, but what makes Rek'Sai so good? Why does everyone want Rek'Sai now?
To be fair, I'm not entirely sure because I think the overall kit is really strong. Also, the way you build him, which actually you build him mostly pure tank, you still do a lot of damage because the base damage is really high. I think it's a combination of the whole kit plus the damage he does without having to have any damage.
Yeah, I mean,
just one brutalizer. I think it is.
Yeah.
It's all the damage you need.
You've got a guaranteed knock up as well. You can just tunnel underneath
exactly.
them, so it's like
it's reliable. Reliable CC. It's reliable damage, even though you're not damage based, sort of. And it's a lot of how is it called? He appears anywhere in the map. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know, for some heroes that need to push. Let's say Orianna. Let's say those kind of champions are all the time under pressure just because the fact that he exists, he's in the game.
Well, we see that going
Janna
for
Rengar.
Caitlyn and Morgana, they're added into the Bangkok Titans, and Janna Rengar. So not too much of a change overall there. Like that Rengar, and again, Carson that last game caused a few problems with his Rengar.
You know, I'm not entirely sure about Janna overall against Caitlyn. I don't play bot lane usually, but every time I see that matchup, I'm not entirely sure how it goes. I think it's a bit favorable for Caitlyn. And, you know, the catching potential, if they have an assassin mid with Morgana, is always really strong. You saw in the previous game, Morgana along Zed, as soon as they get ahead a little bit, as soon as Morgana hits a binding, that guy is 100% dead, even without the ultimate of Zed. So that good edge. Oh, this is actually interesting. This is double AP combination along Morgana. Kassadin obviously is going to be in the top lane against Gnar. Not so sure about this because Gnar should be able to sort of bully him out at least early game. And then we have the LeBlanc mid, which is a really strong pick, but again, he's against a Sivir AD carry. And Sivir is not a hero that will get one-shotted by those kind of assassins. So let's see what they pick mid lane. Oh, they go for Lulu. This is actually really smart. Lulu Rengar, and if they had it ready, it would be just crazy, you know. But Lulu Rengar is a really strong combination, and just because of the CC chain that Rengar goes in, the E, the knock up, etc., you can guarantee a kill if you do your CC well. If you ultimate Rengar just when he pops, then he can E afterwards. That LeBlanc is dead. She can do nothing. But also Lulu is a good pick against. Oh, he's gonna be LeBlanc top. Or maybe it's the Triforce LeBlanc everybody speaks about. This is not. I'm not kidding. You know, I've seen that once, and I think sometimes it works. It works, but late game is totally rubbish.
Well, I mean, actually, talking damage-wise, you know, Yo Flash Wall's damage is fairly low because they've got the Lulu in the mid lane now, which is not the crazy beast that it used to be many moons ago.
No, but Lulu hard corners Kassadin. Like,
yeah.
If you would just say just pick one champion against Kassadin, I would just say Lulu, like blind. You know, it's really strong. You can completely destroy the Q damage of Kassadin with your E. You can harass him when you think Kassadin doesn't have the damage. It's just really, really good overall. When he goes on you can W him or you can ultimate yourself. It's extremely good pick against Kassadin.
It's incredibly boring to watch farming up the mid lane as well. I was never a big fan of Lulu mid just on the premise of, you know, actual action in
actual
the game,
fighting.
I will give you a hug right now, man, because I hate that champion too much, you know?
See? Ocelot's on my side.
But I will not give you a hug.
Okay.
Yet.
No, as soon as the camera's off, the hugging will happen. You'll just hear a muffle on the microphone. It'll be Ocelot just hugging everyone. Anyway, let's get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Game 2. The Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei. It's the quarterfinals. The Yoey Flash Wolves 1-0 up against the Bangkok Titans there on your screen. Representing, of course, their nation. Having to fly over to Taipei. Yoey Flash Wolves, of course, are the effectively home favourites of Taipei. There is the Taipei Assassins and AHQ in there, but Yo Flash Wolves have been certainly challenging them, along with Hong Kong Esports, actually, a new resurgent team that has joined in the league. Actually, it's the old boys. It's Stanley's in there. They've got Toys in the mid lane again. It's great to see the Season 2 World Champions back playing.
Yeah, the old school, man. Those old times. Actually, you can say, if we look at the setups, from an okay, a little bit of action right there. If we look at the setups, we can see that Yo Wolf's setup is actually overall better actually.
And we have game sounds as well. We sent, a note over to Fire, whoever was in charge of the sound.
We sent a guy on a
Taipei.
plane with a microphone.
Yeah, and put it next to the speakers.
Yeah.
So we have game sounds now, which is a good thing, so we can hear what's actually going on in game. Did see, as Ocelot mentioned, a little bit of action at level 1, and it was just a little bit with LeBlanc diving in and diving back out once again. But it looks like we're going to be seeing another lane swap. This time, though, going to be initiated by the Yowie Flash Wolves. They're going to be sending Janna and Siva to that top lane. Actually, Nars on that side as well, so I guess he's going to be with Rengar through the jungle at the start.
Yeah, I think, I believe Caitlyn should just beat by herself Sivir and Janna, just because of the range against Sivir.
So, you were talking about it. Doran's Blade on LeBlanc.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm not kidding. I think I wasn't kidding.
No, I know, but it's it might legitimately be happening, and it's not something you often see.
It was like a 5% chance it could happen. I just said it, okay.
We'll see if it works out. Of course, the jungler's going for the buddy system, and it's not your average buddy having a LeBlanc alongside you as that top laner. Meanwhile, of course, in the mid lane, we will be seeing Kassadin up against Lulu. As you said, it's kind of a counter. We'll see how it works out. Honestly, so far, every Kassadin I've seen, but in Season 5, has been dominant. I've never seen one fail yet for a long time.
The point with Kassadin is that he will always get the kills. He will always get the needed farm because of his ultimate. It just makes him be very safe. Overall, Kassadin will always be fed, you know? The point is, how fed are going to be his teammates?
Yeah. It's like, at what stage?
This is really bad for Kassadin, really, really bad. Lulu is already a hard opponent for Kassadin. Imagine right now that he has the help of this Janna coming around. I hate this, man, but it's really effective for Lulu. Lulu will be able to outpush this Kassadin and will be able to outpressure him. This can end up really bad for Bangkok Titans if they don't get a kill on Kassadin early.
Well, let's find out. So you've not seen a Kassadin not doing the work in 2015, and well, that might be those famous last words that we're also very used to. We'll see how G4 is able to get going on this one. So far, he's got a decent amount of farm. We did see earlier on as well, of course, that Warlock on the Blanc was actually sticking with his jungler and seems to be continuing in a similar vein there. While they are going to actually collapse down towards this bottom lane. This could very quickly become a 4 versus 2.
Rengar is just off around the side. I think
maybe too optimistic. What was it?
I think they sense them coming. I'm not too sure. It's like the fact that he's already down there.
I think it's too optimistic.
A 3-man stack. It's a very risky dive, and Warlock's already sensing this is probably a little bit too dangerous.
Yeah, I think they're too tanky by now. Even if they are one more.
Yeah.
Tower is too strong at this point. You don't want to deal against that.
Especially with that CC underneath the tower as well. A little bit too dangerous. 007, however, is going to be killing off that Scuttle Crab. And that will give them vision, at least for now, of that bottom side of the map. No early kills up until now coming up in game number 2. And very interested to see how Warlock actually does with this AD LeBlanc, or however he's going to end up building. We are actually seeing Rek'Sai coming into the mid lane, though.
Diving in around there. He's going to get the knock-up. Is it enough to slow him down? The Ignite goes down. G4 hasn't got the code. Oh, he does manage to flash for it and gets first blood on the Kassadin. That's exactly what he needed.
Exactly. This is the edge he needs. Exactly, this is the edge he needs. Perfect timing for the gank, because if Lulu backs up, he will lose 3 or 4 creeps. If she doesn't back up, she's going to die. It's a perfect moment for a gank. So really well determined, the timing. So, to be fair, I think Kassadin has the upper hand right now. Because what could Lulu do up until now is pushing the lane. Meanwhile, she was pressuring this Kassadin, but not anymore.
Well, let's see what Warlock can actually do in this top lane, because Rengar and Janna have both come up. They've now got vision of him from that brush. LeBlanc going to be a bit of a slippy character there, but what's he going to do? He actually turns around, decides to go the other way. There is the jump away, will flash as well, and actually gets away from the bowler strike, but there's the rest of it. And Swordheart able to pick up the kill. It was close for Warlock to get away, but good Howling Gale to get the kill.
Yeah, I thought he'd got away with that cheeky distort and flash, but no, wasn't having any of it. Sword Art was not going to allow him. He actually had flash ignite as well to pursue Sword Art if he really, really wanted to get down and dirty about it, but did manage to get the kill on there, so a revenge kill.
The point of this LeBlanc is that, as I said, she's really bad late game. So all she has is lane domination. Once she finds herself in a 1v2 situation, she's completely out of her game plan, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with LeBlanc was you always need to get them kills in early. You need to get Snowball in. We are seeing Casa waiting off in this mid lane to see if he can jump on Cassidin, but I would say not falling for it, but actually just walk straight into the bush headlong. If Casa had just stuck around for a little bit longer, had that stun ready and waiting, but instead didn't want to waste his time, backs off to the jungle.
I think Yo's Wolves, Rengar could have played more around Lulu. I think it would have been the right choice early on, because right now it's just too late, right? What Lulu needs is early presence. That's about it.
You can see that the invade is on right now. Bangkok Titans having a bit of a peek there up by the blue buff. 007 just being basically a massive annoyance at this point. Just trying to do the damage, and you can see already getting his tunnels out there. So already starting to cover the map and making it easy for him to just move around. Even will be able to clear out some of those pink wards, and he needs to be careful here. Actually, the binding will land onto Casa, but Lulu and Janna had both come across, and Bangkok Titans, I think, wisely decided not to fight.
In all honesty, I think, honesty, yeah, I think Riot did a great job with this champion. Actually, I think the kit is just great. I think you just need a little bit be a little bit more balanced. But the hero is just great, you know. It's a different concept. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that 5 seasons in, there's suddenly a whole new concept, whole new style of champion out there. The AD carries are going to go up against one another. Now, they have had effectively free time for the last 7 minutes of this game. Not a lot happening. We're getting some stuttering, of course. The feed coming from Taipei is clearly missing a few noughts and ones on the way through. But Stake has gone in towards that top lane now. So how are we going to see this one? A Gnar versus a LeBlanc. It's not your average lane.
Not at all, but when LeBlanc was supposed to be problematic for Gnar is when in 2v1 situations. And those 2v1 situations are ideal for LeBlanc at level 3 to 4, where she can actually bully him out, sort of. Let's see how it works from now on, because Gnar is going to get more and more tanky. And remember that even if she goes Triforce, he needs... with Magic Resist, he will hold off all the damage.
Well, at this rate, I'm going to have to do the observing.
It's forcing you into the camera, isn't it?
At 5 o'clock in the morning is definitely not a thing that I really particularly want to be doing. But we'll see. We'll see if that clears up and then switch over. Right now, we can see that the Yoi Flash Wolves are over by Dragon. And currently, they're going to be starting it off in a very stuttering manner. I think I'm actually going to have to
frame by frame. I think you're going to have to, Joe.
Oh, God.
I think it's going to have to happen. Game could position as the teams actually set up for a fight here as well. We can see the Yo-Yo Flash Wolves positioning around the Dragon. I can cover it off on my screen at the moment. We're going to see on there, they're going to dive in towards it. Dragon will get picked up by Bangkok Titans. The question is, can they get some kills from this one? Bangkok Titans all very low. Maple will take down one. Can he get a second as they continue to chase? NL in pursuit. Meanwhile, around the side, actually, Casa has been taken around by Lloyd. Valen's going to get picked off. NL should finish that one down, but it's not over yet. 007, Maple just going to flash away towards the pit. They chase back on towards him. They will get him down. The Bangkok Titans striking back here. Stake hopping it away from this one. 007 is going to chase on through, try and catch on towards them. Any one must hit will be enough from 007. He's got a license to kill, but can he make it count on Stake? I'm not too sure. He's going to dodge around. Finally gets the kill in there. And what a crazy, crazy fight. I think it went 3-2 overall to the Bangkok Titans, but let's remember it was them that also picked up the Dragon. So Bangkok Titans now, they've got 1,000 gold ahead, and they've got that first Dragon buff.
That team fight was beautiful to watch, actually. At least I got
beautiful for us to watch. I'm not sure about everyone else at home.
Oh yeah, that's true, because they have the lag. Okay, but guys, we watched it and it was beautiful. That's all you need to know.
Well, we can switch over to my screen at some point in the future, and hopefully then once the clean feed starts behaving itself, I can retire my observing skills. They should have been long retired by now. That's for sure.
Enjoy with trust.
Pretty crap actually observing the game.
Oh, Rek'Sai using that ulti. Where's he dashing to? Going in towards just his own jungle, starting off that blue buff for his mid laner. We will get it on your screen in just a moment. You can still see we're trying to fight with the clean feed as best we can. There we go.
Yeah.
Suddenly it all looks a lot cleaner and a lot louder.
And a lot louder as well, yeah. So yeah, guys, just throwing it out there. I am now observing, so yeah, don't expect.
Don't expect
the timing
to see any kills. Oh, there is a push down towards Lloyd at the moment. I think there's enough damage there as well. Actually, Carson will get one.
Whoa.
Valen, he did get locked up there as well, and he's dead as well. That's going to be 2 kills just like that for the Yoi Flash Wolves. Yes, they lost Gnar in that top lane, but getting 2 down the bottom. And the tower, yeah, that's going as well.
Might see a dive in the mid lane as well. We can see Lulu is there. That will be the bottom turret. Just waiting for Rek'Sai. Now he's backed away. He's actually going to try and steal away all the enemy jungle while they push that bottom turret down. There's the first one of the game. It is going to, of course, going to be to the Yoi Flash Wolves. We got EW on the screen. Not sure. I think it's meant to be FW, not EW. Just the overlay. Overlay. Ooh, don't like them. But at the moment, this is a pretty even game, and it's, you know, we're 10 kills in, 12 minutes into the game. This is what I like to see. Of course, I'm thinking back to the LCK match that happened last Friday. It ended up, it was 3-1, I think, 60 minutes into the game. It reminded me, especially for Montindo, of the old EUS days when CLG used to play.
Oh, Maple's dead. Maybe there's a wild growth going to be used. Valen comes in and snipes it. Yeah, that actually
that's a mistake. Actually, they should have tanked together.
Yeah, doing the best that he could, really, in those circumstances. Getting a kill back, certainly can't complain. Also realised that I've got my Skype sounds on
I heard the little
in
Skype,
the background
Skype
as well.
noise.
I wasn't prepared for this observing job. I'll be knocking on Carmack's door to get a pay rise. You know, casting
good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. Mid lane, we did just see actually Karsa stunned up there. The ultimate coming out from Rek'Sai, dashing across the map, just going to his own jungle once again. But we were talking about how these champions need to get fed, how they need to get going, what they're going to go for. It does look like Warlock on LeBlanc is going to go for that Triforce. You can see the Sheen being picked up early, so it's going to be very late, it seems, at this rate. We're 13 minutes in. He's only just got that phase, the second item, building towards. I'm not sure this little gamble that they're going to go for is going to work out for them.
So something is for sure. Lulu right now does 0 damage, you know, not that much damage actually. But when it comes into late game, when she has enough AP and the Lich Bane, Lulu is just deadly, man. It's just, even an assassin, you can just run to the AD carry and kill him, like boom, dead.
So fun to play as well. Honestly, while Lulu is fun to play, there's no doubt about it. When she was strong and broken,
I'm pretty sure you like Sinch as well if you say that, and Rengar and Shaco, etc. Right?
Yeah. Of course. They're fun when they're completely.
Okay.
That was always the bonus for me as a commentator. Because you always ask the players, yeah, what's the OP thing in this patch, and then you just go abuse it. Anyway, enough about my abuse in the game. Luckily not in ranked, thank you very much. But looking at G4 in this mid lane, up against Maple, he's been doing a pretty good job. You can see, you know, a Kassadin should not really be ahead of a Lulu in farm.
No, not really. But, I mean, on favor of Lulu, again, he got ganked by Rek'Sai. Really good.
Well, 007 here, looking like he might
damage.
go down. That's a last second wild growth. Maple will be able to get the kill there, but what's going to happen? That's a nice flash away from the Dark Binding. G4 coming in. Brilliant little Monsoon. Valen's got his ultimate going as well, but I think he's dead. He's going to go down before his ulti could even proc. Kassadin will move off to the side, and now it's Lloyd who's in all kinds of trouble, slammed against the wall, and Maple will pick up another kill. Kassadin got away from that in the end, but it was a 3 for nothing.
Honestly, the Wolves played this really, really good. Like, you saw how they stopped Kassadin damage. Like, Janna ultimate was actually perfect. The way they played defensively, the way they then counter-engage, it was really, really good teamfight. These guys know how to teamfight, actually.
Yeah, we saw the power of the shield heal combo that they have. Obviously, the shield's coming out of Maple, getting that wild growth on, and then suddenly bang, Monsoon blew them out of there. Just simply not enough damage right now. Obviously, we're not seeing a great deal of damage. LeBlanc barely does anything at the moment. Hasn't got the first item complete. And the Kassadin, well, only got the Rod of Aegis. That's going to be the dragon picked up, the first one of the game for Yoi Flash Wolves. Bangkok Titans, of course, got one a moment ago. And after a great team fight, this is kind of going backwards for them. And the Yoi Flash Wolves quickly back into this game.
Let's take a look at the setups for a moment. We see LeBlanc, we see Rek'Sai, we see Kassadin, we see Caitlyn. Even Morgana, every single one of those champions highly relies on getting ahead, on having the team ahead, right? Those kind of assassin champions, those kind of catching champions like Morgana, really need you to be really ahead. And when you're behind, this is not looking good for Bangkok Titans at all.
Well, we could change possibly to demon screen for a second here, so I can turn off.
Oh God!
My Skype
oh
sounds.
God!
Now we'll see a real bad cameraman in action.
I think you'll find. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I haven't got middle mouse button scroll. This could be deadly. Oh, okay. We'll see how it goes. Let's just remember, I used to be the cameraman actually. Before in the old season 2 days, I managed to catch just about everything in the old Gambit days from Moscow 5 when they were crazy aggressive. We're going to be on the clean feed though, so we'll see.
Apparently it seems to be running a bit smoother now, so yeah. That's nice.
No more internet lags, we'll see. It's probably just messages saying, hey!
It's basically them talking about the clean feed, yeah. Obviously.
Making noise in the background. Anyway, as you can see, 007 making a run on towards NL there. We'll get a little poke on towards the tower, but forced him to use his ultimate there, Siva. So Siva's ultimate down. We'll see if it costs him anything. Carsa just getting spotted out by the scrying orb, so he's not exactly being as stealthy as he'd like. And Bangkok Titans back to playing defensively. You know, how do you get in back from this situation? You talked about how they needed to be a snowball team and reliant on starting to pick up those kills, but when you got LeBlanc and Cassidy both wanting the kills, who do you give it to?
It's not about giving, it's about even getting the kills. You know, they're not even trying to catch people. You can see them in the map all the time. A good way to use this setup is to completely miss, get a lot of vision, maybe not get as many items, you know, get vision as much as possible and try to catch people. This is the only way they can win the game right now.
Well, we are going to be seeing Trinity Force picked up here in just a second by LeBlanc, who's just going to be recalling off. There it is. So we'll see how this famed Trinity Force LeBlanc actually is going to do in this game.
He's a laner, man, and he's not laning, so she has a problem, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's 20 minutes in, right? So
yeah, it's too late right now. Normally, this kind of LeBlanc, she goes for the Trinity, and she should actually be able to win the lane 1v1. But you know, the lane swapped. It wasn't that easy for her, to be fair.
Yeah, there was no lane 2 1v1 in. Oh dear, we're going to see Sword Art. Actually, 007's the one that's pinned, but he should be able to just sneak and pull ourselves away. Yep, tunnels his way out of there. No problem. That's the beauty of Rek'Sai.
And this is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, because as I said, Lulu scales crazy good. Then you have the Sivir with the good engage. Then you have the Janna if anything goes wrong. You have the Rengar for the engage. Plus, it's just ridiculous what they have for the late game, and they're ahead. So it's really hard right now for Bangkok to come back this game. Even though it's only 3k gold difference, a catastrophe should happen to make them come back.
Well, we are 18.5 minutes in, 3,700 gold for the Yowie Flash Wolves. We're now going to see that 007 just doing his red buff, and we'll see where he decides to go off to next. I was just looking at his, his tunnel network and what he's got down there. Nothing really too impressive at this point. Nothing, past the halfway line where you might think you might be able to make a couple of little plays. Obviously, both the side lanes, they've lost their turrets there, have the Bangkok Titans, so need to be careful about that one. NL is pushing out that bottom wave. There's a push on the top wave. NL actually needs to be a little bit careful. Oh, there's a pink ward inside of that brush, so we'll spot them actually being in there.
Yeah, well, 30 seconds till that Baron pops up. Dragon's a little further away. It's going to be 2 minutes away. And that bottom lane is getting shoved in. We see Stake that doesn't really care about those chains from Warlock. He's just going to try and turn around and slam him. A little bit of damage actually coming out. Stake's got to start respecting it. Yeah, it's a little, like you say, constant damage. Stake actually going to be forced to flash away from this one. Warlock actually just bullying him completely out of lane.
This is LeBlanc. Imagine if she would have been able to lane from the very beginning 1v1. It would have been really painful.
She nearly died to the tower there, though, with like one hit. So
yes, that's LeBlanc, man.
That's not exactly going to be the best sign. Probably going to, and that's the my thinking behind this is why it doesn't particularly suit LeBlanc to go that way. Is that you're a bursty assassin who dies in about half a second flat. If you can't burst someone down, you're just going to die. You don't have time to stand around doing constant damage.
The only reason you will go for that ability is because of the Shin proc. That's literally the only reason, because you don't necessarily need to hit your Q to do damage in lane, but again, it's literally 1v1 build.
It may be enough to deal with now. We'll see. Nars just going to continue going tanky. He has got that Hex Drinker on him, so finally some boots for Warlock, so he might actually be able to chase down in lane. He has been lacking a little bit. Maple has been getting his farm on, keeping up well with the Kassadin, despite the fact he fell behind about 30 CS. He's managed to claw that back a fair amount. Static Shiv as well on Warlock?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I've seen that. Is the next logical step, right? First Trinity Force, then a static.
Top lane, actually, Stake is 1 versus 2. It's a good ulti onto 2 of them. Warlock here might actually just die to Stake. 007 trying his best to get in there, and they managed to kite him around long enough so that he can actually stay alive. In the meantime, though, there's 4 men at least, 4 men, in fact, down there on that bottom lane, pushing straight in towards that turret. They're probably going to take that one down. They are going to take that one down, so really exchanging that top lane kill for the turret kill, plus the dragon is now live as well, as they're going to go in. 007, he's a dead man here. Maple will pick up his 5th of the game, and that makes the dragon even easier now with no smite for the Bangkok Titans to even challenge.
It feels like Lulu could, as soon as she goes to buy, she could 1v2. She's way too fed right now. She has very great farm as well.
I feel that was a really sloppy mistake by 007 there. I mean, he used his ulti to get to the mid lane, went straight for the Raptors, knowing full well there was 4 members of UA Flash Wolves. They'd just taken the tower and gone into that jungle, and yet he goes in to try and take your Raptors. That's just lack of concentration, surely.
With Rek'Sai, with the Rek'Sai players, you see this mistake quite often.
Because they just think they can get out of every situation, because they're the tunnel.
He's very slippery, so you maybe overestimate his escape abilities.
Well, it certainly looked that way from 007's side there. Caught completely out. And there's, once again, the Yowie Flash Wolves. And the scoreboard, just in case, you forget the score while we're looking at the players. That was all intentional. Stake now going to be actually focused down here, but, well, LeBlanc sees that he's about to transform into Mega Gnar and decides, well, it was 2v1 earlier and I nearly died, so I probably can't actually fight him.
It's true. I would have loved to see the 1v1 actually with the... don't you feel like you would have loved to watch that?
Oh, yeah. Lloyd, surely you've just got to be like, baited. Really, if there's a support comes at you and he just starts like throwing stuff at you. Yeah, well, I mean, I know he's got the Fnatic skin on him, but Sword Art, but he's not that cocky. You got to realize you're being baited pretty heavily. I think maybe he just realized he was already screwed and completely caught out of lane.
There's 2 options. If he's Gosu Pepper, then you maybe fight him. If he's not Gosu Pepper, just run the fuck. Wait, sorry for that. Run the heck out.
Or Edward to everybody else that knows it. Yeah, Gosu Pepper going back a long way.
Oh, Warlock. We've got Rengar, we've got Lulu headed towards his top lane. Actually, Stake doesn't have a teleport right now, so we'll see. He's going to get the turret. Bowler Strike actually going to miss. The second one will connect, and he's cheeky little sausage, but I think he's going to die anyway.
Yeah, he's realised he's already dead there. So Maple picks himself a kill at the cheeky little sausage. I don't think I've heard that one before.
I think I just made it up, that's why.
Just think about it, actually. Lulu is such a great pick against them because she not only corners Kassadin 1v1, but also corners LeBlanc 1v1. So once she get it rolling, it's over, pretty much. Really strong pick in this situation, even though I hate Lulu, as I said already. Really strong pick.
Especially when it's 6-3-2, can probably, 2v1 at this point. Exactly. We are going to see here Sword Art getting locked up by the binding. 007 on his blue buff, but watch Lulu's damage here. Maple focusing on 007, and there is Stake actually coming away. We'll see the flash from Valen to get him back, and they've been looking for a kill here, but Stake might be in trouble with that Caitlyn hammering away from the backside. G4 now going to come in there as well. Ace in the hole will come through, and Stake still doesn't die. After all that, the damage coming back, they almost finish off Valen as well. And now NL, if you wanted to, could probably just rip straight through it. 007 has gone a little bit too deep there, and he's going to pay the price finally as Warlock jumps in. Monsoon goes down. They've healed up a little bit, and now they've decided, let's just turn this one around, go straight back into it. Warlock will get behind the safety of his turret, but they've lost Kassadin. They, of course, lost Rek'Sai just before. That's 2 men. They could actually go straight towards Baron here or take down a couple of towers.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the towers. They can take the side ones. Oh, Lloyd caught out there. Sword Art's going to lock him up. Used his Ignite, but didn't get the kill on. Missing a winning wave there. Maple will come back in. That's going to go down. NL should finish that turret off as well. But you just saw the power of the shields and the heals once again coming out of Yo Flash Wolves. Just no damage coming out of Bangkok Titans. Nobody, Warlock didn't want to dive in too much. Kassadin kept trying to poke it, but still yet to really complete that death cap.
How do you counter Lulu or this kind of single target shields or heals, etc.? You counter it with AoE. So the point is that they were last pick in this situation, so they could counter with Lulu their whole setup. But it wouldn't have make any sense if they would have got an Orianna, for example, or something that has AoE, because they hard counter Lulu.
Warlock came down to that bottom lane and wasn't sure that he particularly wanted to fight Stake there. And in the end,
so the Afro backed away. So, whoa.
Some scary hair going in there. And he actually did decide to back away, picked up a Giant's belt. So we'll be coming back just that little bit tankier. And now they're inside of the enemy jungle. 3 of them there, actually. Let's see what they can do. G4 gonna be hanging around. Swordart's actually really taken a different path here from his teammates, but will they be able to come around and actually stop him from going down? We saw the Locket of the Iron Solaric being used there, and look at this, they're gonna dive straight in, going for the support, and there is another kill for Maple. That will be his 8th of the game, and I don't think that's gonna be it here. We see Warlock trying to fight NL. They do manage to get the shutdown. Ace in the hole will come flying through as well, and that's a couple of kills back, but I don't think they've quite finished just yet. Flashing from Kaza. 007's gonna fall though. It's again Maple with the damage. Lloyd actually getting the kill. I think he cancelled an auto attack there. And there's an ace in the hole in the end from Lloyd. Really turning it on. That cancelled auto attack, I think, just cost Maple his life. And, well, his teammates' life as well.
Yeah, it's actually a very, like you say, a very good turnaround fight there. I think Yo Flash was just got overconfident, no doubt about it. They just saw, they got the opportunity. Rengar, of course, got the kill quick and early. And then it's all, let's just carry on going. It's,
LeBlanc with the static. That's what I want to see, man.
Well, I mean, he is being that split pushing menace. He's starting to become a problem.
Well,
as weird as it seems.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that bad. I just think he just didn't have the game she would have liked to.
Well, it hasn't got the damage either. When there's Lulu on the other side at 9-4-3.
On there you go, with Lichbane is starting to be built, and when the Lichbane is done, you will see the real difference in teamfights. The AD carry will just get stomped.
Oh, Sword Art, you might want to get away from this one. The rest of the team are actually around the corner. It's a good little binding. Monsoon will knock them back, and there's a TP coming in behind him. Gnar will drop down, but he's only little Gnar, so he's a little bit squishier. They don't get a knock-up off the Wild Growth either, so this is a bit of a messy start, but they've killed off the support, and that is going to be the signal to go as NL gets himself one. Ulti was already used. They get two. Maple going to dive straight in there. A little bit too deep in the end. Will get pushed away. Ace in the hole caught by Rengar. Warlock, surely. It was actually his passive that completely caught me off. But the red team. It was actually Yowie Wolves that picked up themselves the dragon. Stake will get locked up by the chains, but now a 2-for-1 in the end with the dragon going over to the Yowie Wolves.
Yeah, Yowie Wolves. Well, they're going to have to back away and defend this one. Lloyd coming up with 007. They should be able to poke down this turret. The rest of Yowie are pretty low on health. That static shift LeBlanc, remember, he does a lot of damage to that tower. That will be the mid turret going down. So while they didn't get their hands on that dragon, they have got themselves their 3rd turret of the game.
3rd dragon for the Wolves. It's actually starting to get scary.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the problem you're behind, right? But you can't really afford at this stage to be giving more dragon buffs away. Otherwise, you're going to make it impossible either way to come back from it. So
it's really smart from Riot to make this change actually of the buffs, because you no longer can play like I said before, you know, with Vayne that you just farm the whole game and you just win the game. You can't do that anymore because the dragon is giving a lot.
R.I.P. CLG.
Oh, that's a good reference, actually.
It is their style. I mean, that's what they used to do. 007 actually getting pinned out there. There's Casa jumping, pouncing on him, goes back to the bush, pounces back in. Oh, they haven't quite got the last hit. Now they have. They're going to Casa's in trouble, though. The Wild Growth should be enough to hold him in there. Warlock will take him down. And now the chase is on as G4 catches on towards Maple. Maple turns around. That Lichbane still not quite complete, but it does do enough damage. Speeds himself up, shields himself out, and just jogs away.
Jog on, son. And that will leave them a good chunk of gold still in the lead of this one. There's a Warmog's actually done for Stake.
Oh, he's a beast. You know, Warmog's, not many people know this, but Warmog's hard corners sort of double AP. I mean, I know LeBlanc is technically not an AP this game, but... Oh, there we go. Some damage right there, both sides.
Oh, they're going to Lloyd's in trouble. He's going to get locked down. Maple, though, may pay the price. G4, has he got enough? Sonya's out. The rest of the team's just abandoned him. He's just left him there because, well, Stake, he's quite a meaty champion right now, and he's getting himself involved onto 007. Will manage to lock on. Will he manage to slam down in there? Oh, G4 doing slippery, running him around. But Valen's going to try and run away from this one. No, he's going to get caught by the glitter lance of Maple. That will be G4 going down in the top. And just like that, it's a 3-for-1 for Yoey Flash Wolves.
I don't think it's quite over here either. Maple getting underneath the tower there. Stake will come around as well. And can they actually finish off? I don't think they got the damage, but that tower certainly won't be able to stay alive. There's 3 men dead, although Caitlyn's coming up soon. They might actually take the inhibitor turret.
Lloyd just around the side there, trying to get some poke on him, but don't think he wants to get too involved in this one. Warlock's going to get away. That's going to be the mid-inhib going down. And now Yoey Flash Wolves will back away. So, strong fight for them once again, coming out on top, getting the kills, and they've got the chase potential on them now. Casa has actually quite impressed me on Rengar. He's been pouncing in there. But I guess when you've got a Lulu that's going to throw a wild growth on you, you're just like so Lulu, confident,
you know? It's not only the Lulu, it's the movement speed from Janna, it's the Severe ultimate plus the Lulu W. You know how fast that guy is. It's Formula 1, you know, it's Michael Schumacher, you know. It's really, really good. And also he cannot die with Lulu and Janna. It's just extremely good setup, but they need to be either ahead or even.
Well, they're ahead, so that's,
it works, right? It works.
Works out perfectly for them. We're going to see them now moving around, trying to secure their own blue buff. There'll be no challenge this time, so that will go on to G4. Just keeping track of Warlock's build here with LeBlanc. Lucidity boots picked up there for that extra, cooldown. If he's gone Shiv, he might as well have just got Berserker Greaves.
Well, I didn't even know, man.
Looking at you to provide all the insight into this fantastic build.
Well, I told you they will play LeBlanc AD. I think that's good enough, right? I can't explain anymore what's going to happen.
He called it out very early in the pick and ban. Baron being started off here, and the Yoey Flash Wolves, well, they're going to come around and lock this one down. They are actually going to give up their bottom inner turret. You can see that the LeBlanc is pushing that one down. They're going to go for the turn. They're going to go back in towards 007. Going to try and run away from this one. Valen is going to get hammered down. House thrown at him. And they will just return back towards that Baron. As I say, it is going to cost them. It will just be a simple inner turret. The question is, will Warlock keep pushing as they delay them here? He's going to be on the inhib any minute.
Well, we will see this Baron go down. No one there to challenge that one. We see the instant recalls as well. In fact, an instant teleport onto that bottom lane from Stake. And we did see Warlock had actually backed away from that one. So that was nicely defended there by the Yoey Flash Wolves and managing to pick themselves up the Baron buff now. And less than a minute until the next dragon comes up. They have 3 dragons or 4?
They have 3.
3. Yeah, exactly.
A little something I'd like to say, for those not that great teams, like these ones, is that the top laners tend to not to use the TP late game that often, but actually late game TP doesn't have that much impact, so you should just use it for little stuff, it doesn't have that much usage.
Sordar he's
so confident. Yeah. So confident he's going to get the support in there. And again, that's exactly all they needed to do. G4 now in trouble. Not exactly as secure as he'd like to be. Instead, he's going to get locked down. That was a quick one shot there. LeBlanc Sordar now very low. 007 also very low. They're going to try and get on towards him. Wild Growth saves him. And he will just keep alive. Warlock wants to chase on this one. Not too sure it's the right choice, and he will back away. Super Minions pushing down the mid lane at the moment, so Bangkok Titans are going to have to back off and deal with them.
Yeah, the Lich Bane is completed by Lulu. She has the blasting one. She's gonna complete her void stuff probably.
That was really close to actually losing that Nexus turret. They're gonna lose the 4th dragon buff, so basically one more. If this game's not already over at this point, then it could soon be with another
this one is
dragon
the movement
buff.
speed one, right? Yeah, I think it's the movement speed one. Let me check. Yeah, exactly. No, it's okay. Never mind. The movement speed is the 3rd one. This is 15 more. More damage to minions.
Yeah. It's the real pusher now. It's once that 5th stack comes in, they get the double bonus on everything. Yeah. Bangkok Titans are going to be in real trouble. They haven't been able to get their hands on a single dragon so far in this game. Baron, of course, was also picked up by the Yoey Flash Wolves.
You can check how fast they are right now. And if you put on top of that, imagine the next buff of Dragon, they're going to be extremely fast.
So we're going to see a speedy Rengar.
Look, they're really fast.
How much movement speed? Janna's got 513.
Without the ultimate of Sivir, without the W of Lulu.
Yeah.
You can imagine the Ferrari of Rengar.
I know Ferraris need to break down these days. Maybe they're going to go with a Mercedes.
Oh,
yes, I know.
I'm a Ferrari fan, man. So you hit me there.
They've not won anything for years. It's all right. So anyway, back to the game rather than talking about
pride,
Formula
I guess,
1.
Right? English pride.
Well, Lewis Hamilton, yeah, but it's technically a German company. Nevertheless, Yo-Yo Flash Wolves pouncing in there. We can see Rengar did use his ultimate, didn't manage to get anything from it, but that tower's going down so fast. They're going to keep pursuing.
Yeah, they can't really do much here. Stakes dove right into the middle of them. Going to just nom down on 007 there. And that's a three-man stun as well against the wall. And this should just be a clean-up operation. We will see 2 men already down, and they can just turn straight onto those Nexus turrets once again. First one was low from before. There's a TP actually coming in. Looks like they want to do this one by the book. Oh, they have to, because that one respawned on them, so they couldn't actually finish off those Nexus turrets. But there are 2 men dead here. They're still pretty full in terms of health. Second inning will go down. Monsoon going to be used there by Sword Art just to make sure they can top them up a little bit on health. There's a big shield. It's almost half of his HP. There's the kill onto 007. And the Nexus turrets are going to be going down, and it is going to be the Yo-Yo Flash Wolves that pick up the game 2-0 and move through to the semi-final to take on AHQ.
Dominant performance overall, really, from the Yo-Yo Flash Wolves. Didn't really look like they were going to lose that. There was just one team fight where the Bangkok Titans came out really well, and suddenly you were thinking, oh, maybe we could get a third game, but honestly, overall, they went for a gamble, the Bangkok Titans, clearly, with that LeBlanc, but as you said, the 2v1 completely stopped it in its tracks from the lane phase.
I think they're used to use the LeBlanc AD from what I can see, because they pick her like very confidently. You know? But you can see how they got outplayed completely by the moves. This game is about rotations. It's about the brain more than about 1v1s anymore.
Yeah, and it was very fast rotations as well. We just talking about the movement speed they had there. Of course, once the Lulu gets up, you've got a Janna on your team. You've got a Rengar that's going to be stealth, and then you've got Na, who we saw with the Mega Na and the Wild Growth is gigantic.
He won't die.
Yeah, it just becomes the full tank, and it really was the full team fight team. And that's the problem with Bangkok Titans. They were looking for pickoffs. You know, they wanted to get the assassinations, but Yo-Yo Flash Wolves stayed as a group the whole time.
I think nowadays pick-coms may not be as good as before, and because actually people have maybe learned how to play against them. Maybe the point is that when you have a pick-com, you need to be ahead, and if you're not ahead, you need to be very creative, and you have to be like, okay, we're behind. How can we catch them without them seeing us? And you need to spend a lot of time a lot of money into vision. So it's playing pick-com against a good team is really hard, actually.
Well, a tough loss for them there, and going for this a little bit something different. Some might call it a cheese pick. The LeBlanc there might work for you like 1 out of 5 games or something, but maybe they were thinking 0-1 behind. This is the time to actually do it.
Yeah, sorry. I've just seen a picture of a cheeky little sausage tweeted at us. I'll retweet that.
That's Machine. That he says cheeky little sausage.
Cheeky little sausage. Is that where it's come from?
Well, from here it doesn't look like a sausage at all. From here, at least.
Well, it is. It is, trust me. That's
what he says, okay? That's what he says.
If nothing else, I will retweet it. It's a good picture. But, so game 1 done. Best of 3 quarterfinals. We see Yo-Yo Flash Wolves going through. No surprise, really, honestly. They were clearly the favourites coming into this one, the Bangkok Titans. While they are top over in Vietnam, they are not exactly on the same level, I feel, as the likes of the Taipei Assassins, the Yo-Yo Flash Wolves, and AHQ.
I can see you guys actually very knowledgeable of this scene, because I personally don't follow it as much, this one. So I can see you guys, you predicted it, So, props. Actually, these guys completely outplayed Bangkok Titans. And I wasn't entirely sure when I saw the picks and bans, but they just completely outplayed, out-rotated, etc. So.
Yeah, I think AHQ might be a different beast completely for Yo-Yo Flash Wolves, but again, they have already played each other, and it could actually be a very, very interesting best of 3 in the semi-final tomorrow.
Yeah, let's not forget AHQ did very well at World Championships. The fact that they took EDG to a tiebreaker in the groups when we were in Taipei, it was nobody was expecting that. EDG
awesome,
with the number 1 Chinese team coming in, so completely caught them off guard. We'll see how they work out. They have had some changes in the team since then World Championships as of Taipei Assassins, but obviously we're going to see them tomorrow. Next up will be the Taipei Assassins. They're going to be facing off against
Avant-Garde.
Sorry, Australia. I keep forgetting the name of Avant-Garde because it was what did they rename to? It's basically the same team, but not the same team. The same organization that was at the International Wildcard, but the team has changed around a lot since then. So it's going to be TPA Avant-Garde coming up in just a few moments. They're going to be sorting themselves out on stage. Of course, we are here in Cologne. It is the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, and we will be back in a few moments once they get set up on stage. Don't go in there, guys. It's going to be a great game.